Hey friends, it's Dwight. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a great day. So today we're going to work on a large canvas. I'm going to do a 30 by 40 gallery wrapped level 3 canvas. And I'm going to preempt the name of this pour and call it Kaleidoscope. I'm going to be using 14 4-ounce cups, all different color, except I may have 2 that are white. But other than that, I'm going to have greens, blues, purples, golds, reds, orange. I can't think. I have to go through all my paints and figure this out. But we have a lot of different color, and I'm going to use my strainer, and I'm just going to pour them one after the other. We're going to see how that works today. So I'm going to get everything prepped and ready to go, and then I'll go through the colors for you, and then we'll get started. Okay, guys, sit back and hold on. Okay, guys, I am done mixing my paints. That took quite a bit of time. As you can see, I have 13 cups in my, or 12 cups in my 13, 14 basically are 8 ounces of white paint. These are all 4-ounce cups, and I wanted to do the colors on the color wheel, or at least close enough. I am starting with brown. I'm going to use some white in between the brown, and then I'm going to do gold, and this is nickel azo gold. That is orange, red, and then next to the red comes the purples. That's like a lavender and a purple. Then next to that is the blues. This is like a gray blue. And this is ice blue from Dazzling Metallics, peacock pearl. Then moving into the greens. And this is a green gold that a friend of mine introduced me to. And last but not least is Viridian green. So I'm checking consistencies and going to make sure everything is ready to go. And then I will paint the edges and corners and we will start. Okay, hold on. Okay, all the paints are ready and the canvas is ready, so let's get started. So I'm using my colander as opposed to my strainer. I'm going to say a quick hello, and then we're going to get pouring. So all of those, I believe 12 different 4-ounce cups, I'm going to pour basically one after the other. But first I'm going to start with the Rich Espresso from Dazzling Metallics, which is Deco Arts. And then I'm going to put some Artist Loft Soft Body White, just a little bit of a palette cleanser, so to speak, in between that and the rest of the Rich Espresso. So after the Rich Espresso, I'm going to be using gold. And again, we're going to layer each cup after the other. So the next color is going to be Nickel Azo Gold, and that's from Golden's. I've had that bottle for a while. And then we're going to add orange. And then scarlet red on top of that. So on the color wheel, after red, you've got purple because it's between the red and the blue. So this is like a lavender color, like a light sort of bluish purple. And then I'm going to be putting the Extreme Sheen purple on top of that. And then a little bit of a break with some more of the white. And then we are going to use sort of this bluish gray, but it's Deco Arts Americana brand paints. And then Ice Blue, which is from Dazzling Metallics, which again is Deco Arts brand. So then on top of that, I'm using this Peacock Pearl, which is a nice sort of turquoise blue-green. And then I'm going to be using this Gold Green by Golden's. A friend of mine has suggested that I try it. It almost looks like an avocado green. It's a really cool green. Then on top of that is Viridian Green, and that is from Gotta Deal brand paints. And then finally, just the rest of the white on top of that. Not much in the cup. So there's going to be a little bit of time here where I am going to be double checking the consistency of my black paint. It seemed it was a little too thick. So what you can't see on the top of the screen there, I'm sitting there and I wanted to mix it up to make sure that it was the right consistency. Also, I'm going to change the orientation of the video so you can see the entire canvas. And it seems to be taking quite a bit of time. So apparently my black paint needed a lot of help. So here we are, back to the regular size. You can see the entire canvas. Just getting as much paint out of the colander as I can. When I was looking at this, I was sort of getting concerned with the green and the tan. Wasn't sure how things were going to turn out. But let's slowly pour the black paint. Now, this video is at a speed of basically 1.5 times. So it's slightly faster than the actual pour, but I did pour that nice and slowly. Said a little prayer, and let's get started with the tilting. So I moved it slowly to the end. I wanted to make sure I had enough paint to cover the color, also to cover the edge. So remember, I bring it back a little bit, and that way I bring the weight of the paint towards the center of the canvas. And at this side, I'm just getting all of it off the edge. I was stretching, and what you can't see is the pearls starting to form. And there we go. Oh, there's my ceiling fan and light. I meant to turn that off. So as you can see, some of the red and the color is starting to come through. Wasn't quite sure how things were going to go. I didn't think there was enough color to begin with, but as you can see, it just popped in all of that color. That's why I call it Kaleidoscope. Okay guys, let's look at the wet walkthrough. Hey guys, here we are. Look at my Kaleidoscope. How cool is that? I'm very, very happy. I think these colors are fabulous. And that red really popped through. So let me just show you, sort of up close what we're looking at. So the lighter colors towards the middle. You know what I'm going to say about the negative space, so I won't say it. I love this white band right here. And the speckle of red. See, look at that. That's cool. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so what have I learned from this? I can use a lot of color and get some really cool results. So I'm going to let this dry. We'll see how it dries. I'm hoping it dries well. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a cloudy, rainy day here in Orlando. So, and I turned the overhead light off, so the color is really kind of muted. It is quite bright. Let me see if I turn the overhead light on. I turned it off because of the glare. So maybe you can see a little bit better. It's a little brighter. There you go. Look at those colors. Look how they stand out. Let's go back down. There you go. That red is just so beautiful. Now, I think, and this is just my observation, I think my paints were a little too thin. It still worked out, so I'm very happy, but I still think they might be a little too thin. I love the gold and the orange with the red and the purple through here, and this blue and the greens just softens everything up. So I did a good job. I'm very happy. Okay, I will show you the dried results, and then I'll go in and figure out what I want to do with this, if anything. Thanks for standing by, and we'll see you in about 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, guys, thanks. Okay, guys, here we are. It's the next morning, and it dried perfectly. So I'm going to take a few minutes here. I'm going to go and do some work around the negative space on some of those pearls that need to be just slightly rounded and or taken out. And I'll show you the dried results here in just about a few seconds. Okay, here we go in super fast motion, the touch-ups around the negative space. So some of the pearls that were around the negative space were slightly elongated due to the fact that my paints were just a little bit too thin. Although sometimes thin paints provide a very beautiful explosion of color when you do this type of pour. But the problem with that becomes as the paints move towards the negative space, sometimes they push into it. So what I'm doing here is just rounding some of these edges to make it look more cohesive in the rest of the painting. This whole process took me about 45 minutes or so to complete. And people have asked before about the black paint I'm using. It's right out of the bottle. It's Artist Loft Soft Body Black, the same black paint that I used in the actual dump paint. So again, I'm just cleaning up some of the colors. Just sort of working around the perimeter of the negative space. Just doing some fine tuning around some of these edges, and not quite sure how far I was going to go down on either side. So I used my heat gun to just dry the paint. I've mentioned this several times before. I'm left-handed, and you know, I tend to smear if I don't make sure that it's dry. Now you might hear an airplane in the background. I'm sitting outside by the pool doing my voiceover. Okay, we're getting pretty close here to the end. Before I show you the final results, just doing some touch-ups, making sure everything is as clean and crisp as I can make it. Just sort of doing some edges, like a waterfall edge, making sure some of that black is going on those edges as well. Okay, just about done. Okay, see you with the final results. Okay, friends, here we are with the final walkthrough. If you noticed on the last segment, I did go in and trim this up a little bit. I wanted to round them. I had a few pearls over there that weren't round, and usually that indicates that some of the paint was wet. Of course it's wet. It's thin, a little too thin. And so this just makes all the pearls that are near the negative space push into the negative space. So these are beautiful pearls. They are metallics. That red and that orange and that gold together look really great. And also these beautiful white bands right there. So yeah, I'm very pleased with it. I am going to do another one in just a few minutes, and we'll share that in a few days. Okay, friends, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.